I met Steve because he's also a friend of the Abbey, and he gave this fabulous talk about Vikings. But remember I had it on for that meeting a couple of meetings ago, and he was absolutely fabulous, which I know you're going to enjoy tonight. And he said to me, well, I could come to this society and give you a talk. I was like, really? From G-Bone, you're going to come and give us a talk? So we're so pleased. Because it is hard when we have an evening meeting to get speakers. Usually we have to sort of hog our own spaces here. So, but Steve has got a fabulous history. His background is education, retired social sciences teacher, and head of department. So, you know, you're getting sort of like someone who's used to being on the floor, you know, talking to people. And like me, keen in history, except you're more military history.
Yes.
And I'm more sort of, you know, getting dressed up and pragging around. Which we do. Giving a lot of great presentations, particularly in the military side. Battle of Waterloo, which had me drooling because I think I was away. I was overseas when you did that one at the Abbey.
Oh, in 2015.
Yeah. I was terrible for those. So tonight is all about the hidden history. I know we all know Waltzing Matilda. We used to sing it as kids. I mean, it was the one thing we used to do. That and the God Save the Queen. So this is to me going to be fabulous because to have the hidden, the reason why, they're the things that interest me always with history because it's hindsight that you can sort of get it all together. So without further ado, let me introduce Steve Booker. Booker-McLay.
Thanks, Ed. Can people hear me down the back? How's it sound? Okay, oh good. So, I would just like to thank you for the opportunity of making this presentation to you tonight. I'd also like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land, the Cubby people. I pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging. So 2025, it's the 130th anniversary of the writing of Waltzing Matilda. And of course, Waltzing Matilda is sort of the unofficial national anthem of Australia. I say unofficial. When in the late 70s and early 80s, when Australia was hunting around for a replacement national anthem to God Save the Queen, almost 30% of Australians wanted this.
Yeah, I voted for them.
As I probably would have at the time, although I just think that having a song about a sheep-stealing, suicidal, itinerant worker maybe isn't the most suitable for a national anthem. It might surprise you to know that Waltzing Matilda is one of the most recorded songs in history. It's also the most recorded Australian song. Over 7,500 covers or versions of it have been done. It ranges from Burl Ives, the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. Well, I'm showing my age now. I did see just recently Johnny Cash. He was singing it for his audience because he was going to do a tour of Australia, and he was interpreting it for his American audience. So the swagman turned into a hobo. So his interpretation wasn't quite right. So the most recent version that I'm aware of is by the Irish punk group The Pogues, who did one last year. But if you're worried about you don't know anything about the Pogues, that's okay, neither do I. So let's come on this journey to find out what actually went on behind the scenes. So just a bit of an overview. So the events that we're going to be looking at around Kainoona in Western Queensland. That's a photograph from the 1960s, but I suspect that that's what Kainoona would have looked like in the 1860s as well. So we're going to look at the Australian terminology within the song, and you're thinking, oh, I know all that stuff, but I think there's a couple of things that I'll be able to teach you about. We'll look at the historical context because at the time, as the Queensland colony, there was a lot of political and economic turmoil going on. We're going to look at the Great Shearers' Strike because it's the backdrop of where the song was written. We'll look at the Dagworth Station incident, and that's the actual events that helped Banjo Patterson, write the lyrics. So we'll look at his songwriting process, how the song was written, the different versions. We're going to have a bit of an analysis of it. and how the song has since been used. So, Australian terminology. We're probably the only country in the world that call oxbow lakes billabongs. So, water doesn't travel in a straight line. It always curves or meanders, and a billabong is when those meanders get cut off from the main river course. So, a billy can, fairly obvious to us, but I just wonder with the younger generation, would they know what a billy was? So coolabah tree, type of eucalyptus tree, which grows near billabongs. So jump up. So the Aborigines hadn't come across sheep before, so they had several different words to describe. Jimbo, Jombok, Dombok, and my favourite, Dumbog. So it means a white mist preceding a shower. So humans always do that. We look at something which we're already familiar with our environment and then apply it to something new.